Well, hello guys. I'm out in the woods again. As you can see, it's winter camping time. It's December 18th. So the winter solstice is just a few days away, so the days are super short. A little bit of snow coming down, very light. Temps are like around 20 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, into the teens, into the lower teens overnight, like 12 overnight. Roads were kind of bad driving up. Just took it slow, embrace it. Take a nice easy drive and no rush. And you gotta know how to drive in the snow too. Just no sudden movements. You don't stop suddenly and you don't turn suddenly, because your momentum is hard to change in the snow. But borrowed my dad's old truck, as you can see. Came way back down some forest roads into the national forest here. I had to cut a couple trees out of the road. The road's not plowed. We probably came in, I don't know, 2.5 miles, and then all of a sudden they stopped plowing it. It was still only like 6 inches of snow, but with the drifts and the terrain and the trees down, it was pretty tough. But there's plenty of ground clearance for the truck. I plan on going further up the road, another mile almost. But I already cut out 2 trees across the road. I don't want to just do that all day. And the further I go up, the more isolated I get. So I'm gonna change the plan. I'm still on the road I said I would be, because when you go camping by yourself, you gotta tell someone where you are. I'm still on that road. So if I didn't show up tomorrow, they would come looking for me in the right spot still. Yeah, so I got a sled. So the thing with winter camping is you can carry your stuff on a sled or a toboggan. And there's a really nice one by Black River Sleds, 7-foot toboggan that I'd like to get, but it's $250. So I kind of looked around online and I got this one for $20. I'm hoping it'll get me through the winter. But the way you do it is you put all your weight in that sled. You shouldn't have any weight in your pack. My pack is pretty empty. It's probably like 15 pounds. All the weight's in my sled. And then that also works with snowshoes. It's not quite deep enough. It's not quite deep enough with snowshoes, but if you were wearing snowshoes, you don't want to have a 40-pound backpack on too, because it just makes it so much harder. The snowshoes don't keep you on top of the snow as much as they should. So, beautiful day out here. Well, that's enough chit chat for now. Let's keep moving. We gotta test out our first winter camp setup here. We'll see how it goes. So stay with me, guys. Okay, I walked in. Wasn't very far, actually. 100 yards, maybe 200 yards. And, figured it was far enough, kind of like the area, so I dropped the sled, just left it, and then I kind of walked around to find a spot. So I think I got something that's gonna work. Let's head over there. Okay, these are my two trees. So the plan is tie this up like this. And then the tarp is gonna go down and away, and I'm gonna fold it back and come out. So I'll have a floor and a backs. The tarp is 12 feet by 16 feet. It's huge, it's way too big, but it's something I already had. So I didn't need to buy anything. So I'm gonna go 12 feet across, but I'm not gonna go the full 12 feet. There's grommets in it, so I'm gonna tie off the grommets, say like 6 feet or something, and then the excess will hang down, so it'll give me walls. Not exactly sure how this is gonna work, but let's give it a try. Okay, so we're just gonna do a jam knot, which is where you tie a knot. Let me do this. Tie just a simple knot right there. And then you do it again, but you don't pull that one tight. And you go around what you want, and you take the other end of the line, and you go through that hole. And now that knot is going to slide towards this knot. And when they get together, it's going to bite together. And that's just a simple way to start. And then I'll just wrap it. There, see. Now it's already bit into that. And now I'm just going to wrap the log. Okay, this was the concept. Put it across the top, fold it over, and then I was going to put a long stick, I don't know what you would call it, long branch, stick, tree, across the bottom at the point. There, and then move the stick back as far as I want, and then I can tie each one of these up to this ridgepole, and I can take the corners down to the ground. So I'm going to put the camera back in my pocket so it stays warm, and snug everything up on the shelter. I think it works great. It's going to be sweet. Alright guys, here's the shelter. It's still needs some work, but some concepts aren't fully worked out. So what I got is a pole going across the top, tied up, with the flaps, ends of the tarp going down. There's a pole going across the back to pull it tight, and I end up cutting 2 poles from where it's tied to the top and going out to the ground, to the corner, and kind of give it to lift it up a little bit. And then I cut like a puck out of this piece of wood and tied it and ran it to a tree 10 feet away to lift the center up. It's not, it'll work. I mean, what I need to do now is figure out how to get the sides down and, like, you know, immobilized so they stay down. With the front, I made some tent pegs, some pegs, and hammered them in across the front so the front's held in place. Maybe I can just tie a stick to the end of the tarp flap on the sides right here, and just the weight of the pole will hold the side down. That's probably the best bet. But I'm getting a little antsy. I want to get some fire going and some firewood. It's about 1:30, I think, so I got 3 more hours of light because it gets dark so early. So yeah, I want to get some fire going. Alright guys, here's what we got. Been getting firewood for quite a while. Got a bunch of stuff split there. I got shavings. I'm gonna try to do a fancy fire today. We'll see if it works. It's called the Siberian log fire. Alright, I got a bunch of pine branches from a dead pine, and I got a bunch of little spruce twigs. This area is pretty much all maple. Really dominated by maple. I don't see a single birch tree, so I got no birch bark. Alright, so I don't have birch bark, so I'm pretty sure this isn't going to work, but I'm going to try to use my ferro rod on these shavings. If that doesn't fail, I'll use maybe a match or a lighter or something, but I'll give it a shot with this and see what happens. It's close to going. I almost don't want to stop. The striker doesn't strike very well. This ferro rod. You could see it's like ridges. I don't know if that's a problem with me or not. Well, I tried. Screw it. bee sticks. Alright guys, I'm going to give you a final tour of the campsite. Well, I still got some light. I got about 30 minutes of light left. So here's the shelter. There's a ridge pole going across 2 trees. And then the tarp is 16 feet wide. But I only tied about 8 feet up to the ridge pole. And the other sides hang down. From where the tarp is tied off, there's a pole going down into the corner on both sides, and there's a pole going across the back to keep it tight. The side flaps have a pole tied to them just to weight them down, and then the excess here is rolled up and snow is piled up against the bottom sides. And then on the front, the tarp is pulled tight and pegged down. And I have a puck tied to the tarp, strung to a tree to lift the center up. And then the fire is it's a log fire. So far it's going all right, I think. It's supposed to shoot the heat out pretty good. So it should be heating up, and that's obviously where I'm going to sleep. I have an inflatable sleeping pad. I have the foam pad. I have my sleeping bag, and I have a wool blanket. So we'll see how it goes. The sleeping bag's only rated for 20 degrees. And that means you're going to be really cold at 20. Well, it's getting down to 12 tonight. So we'll see how it goes. I think I might try to just keep the fire going since I'm laying out in the open right next to it. Okay guys, I've just been sitting in front of the fire here for quite a while. I got all my wood settled, or at least a good portion of it. I got split stuff. I got thicker pine sticks broken up. I got some actual thick wrist size maple, I think, cut up into like 2 feet sections. The long log fire is doing wonderful. I don't know, it's probably like 5 o'clock, 5:30. It's dark now. So it's about time to get dinner started, I think. I feel like I'm melting my boots. I'm not that close to the fire either. Anyway, went pretty good today. Man, it's a lot of work in the snow. Just getting the shelter set up took a lot of figuring, so it took longer than it could have, but I like it. I think it turned out pretty good. And getting firewood set up takes a lot too. Just sawing, splitting. So yeah, I don't know. And driving in was quite a mess too. You never know what the roads are gonna look like or the forest is gonna look like till you get there. I think I parked the truck at like 11. Probably only took about an hour to pick a spot. So by 12, I was going. So it's been 5 hours. I've been at it, shelter and fire, and that's all I've been doing. And basically no couple snacks, but not really stopping at all. I can hear some distant howls. think it's coyote. It's tough to hear. It's pretty far away. Okay guys, I got all my clothes on. So I put a big winter coat with a liner, and I was wearing my wool shirt all day with a long underwear, wool long underwear underneath. Wearing my buff all day and my hat. These are both wool. And then for my pants, I was wearing long underwear, and then these new pants I got, the green ones, they're from Varusteleka. They're called the outdoor pants, I think. It's like a Finland military surplus store. So these are the first time I'm using these new pants. And then I put big heavy wool pants on underneath these outdoor pants. So that was a bit of a struggle. Get my boots off. I kind of put my boot liners up to the fire to dry a little bit, and my socks. Held my feet out to them so they dried a little bit. They're only wet from sweat. They're not wet from snow getting in them or anything. But yeah, so now I'm wearing like a lot of clothes. I am not cold at all. I am actually pretty hot. But it's only getting cooler. But let's get some dinner going. So pretty simple tonight. We're gonna do a can of baked beans and a pork chop. So all we gotta do here is put the beans in a pot. So I'm gonna use my Leatherman with the can opener to open this can. And just beans in the pot. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna put those by the fire. And I think I'm gonna wait on the pork chop. Okay, there's the beans going. And here's the pork chop. Okay, that's good. Time to plate up. I got this new plate. It's enamel. It's got high sides, you can see. It's called a pasta plate from Crow Canyon. There it is. Okay, time to eat. Bite of pork chop. Very good. Beans are delicious. Can't forget, we got a brewski. Waiting all day for this. Pint of German beer. They got a law in Germany about their beer only being 4 ingredients or something like that. So that sounds pretty good to me. Very good meal. Super easy too. I got some chocolate too. Some homemade crunch bars. You temper chocolate, and you add Rice Krispie and a little bit of malted milk, which is a powder, just a little bit. And then you mix it all up and you pour it out and flatten it and put it in the fridge and cool it. And I made these a couple days ago. Well, I'm gonna clean the dishes. What else do I need to do? Maybe I'll clean the dishes, set up my bed, move the firewood all so I can reach it throughout the night. I think I'm gonna try to just keep adding wood to the fire. I've never really tried to do that before because it just doesn't work. You wake up and the fire's out. But this fire is a little bit different. It's designed to kind of go longer without needing anything. The way those logs just burn against each other. So maybe it'll work. Yeah. That's it. And then I'm going to sit in front of the camp TV. That's the bed. Inflatable pad, foam pad, sleeping bag, wool blanket. Alright guys, I got the camp all cleaned up. Dishes are done. I got my firewood here in front of me. I'm going to kind of try to dry it out a little bit while I sit here. But I'm going to pile this all up right next to my shelter here so I can kind of just lean over and chuck them into the fire. Yeah, everything's pretty much situated for the night. Just gonna sit here and do some relaxing. See you guys in the morning. I've been laying here for like 10 hours. I pretty much laid down around, I think it was 8. I kind of just laid here for an hour, maybe more. Sleep went pretty good, actually. So I got my hat on. I put earplugs in. And that's because last time I camped, I realized that I'm just too light of a sleeper to the point where I'm just too cautious and worried about every little sound. Yeah. And I don't need to be worrying about all that stuff. I'm gonna be fine. I just need to try to relax and get some sleep. So the earplugs worked wonderful. I didn't hear anything. I'm wearing all my wool clothes. I got my long underwear on and my heavy wool shirt and my heavy wool pants. The 2 sleeping pads, the sleeping bag, and the blanket, and I got my coat over the top of me too. My winter coat over my body. So yeah, I just kind of slept for a few hours, woke up, threw some wood on the fire, just reached over and grabbed the wood and literally threw it in a pile over there. And I got like a long 6-foot stick, 7-foot stick, and I kind of rearranged the logs so they'd burn. And then I'd just kind of lay there and I'd fall asleep for an hour or 2 and wake up. I'd throw more wood on the fire and wake up and fall asleep. It worked pretty good. I could feel the heat from the fire. When I would wake up and the fire was out and pretty much just coals, no flame, I was colder. I'd throw some wood out there and the flames would pick up. After a couple minutes, I could feel the cold kind of go away. It was definitely a cold night. My setup here is not enough without the fire. If I didn't have the fire, I would have had a cold night. So that's something I gotta figure out. But I'm gonna get up now at 6:30. Been laying here for 10 hours. I got an hour until light. But I'm gonna get up and get everything situated. We got a little bit of a breakfast this morning to make. see the sun. Just on the horizon. Bacon. Alright, here's breakfast. Coffee and bacon. Very good. So that's it for me today. I'm gonna pack up and get out of here. Pretty good experience out here in the woods in the winter by myself. Driving in was tough. If I didn't borrow that four-wheel drive truck, I wouldn't have made it. And I had a problem with, I didn't even get to where I wanted to get, so I didn't have a map of where I am now. But I got cell service very briefly, way the heck out here. I downloaded a map, and that's why I decided, okay, I'll just go here, because I was able to download the map. I didn't go very far. I guess I didn't need a map, but it was really hard for me to decide to go somewhere else without a map. And once I had that option, once I had that available to me, it was like snap decision. Yeah, let's just go here. I definitely need a warmer sleep system. Yeah, so it took me 4 hours to get the shelter and firewood, and that was without dawdling. I went pretty uninterrupted all day. So it's tough. I need to get better at it quicker. And then the evening went well. Dinner was good. Dinner was a success. The fire was good. I tried out that Siberian log fire. That worked well. I need a warmer sleeping bag. The sleep system was good except for the sleeping bag. My 2 pads were very comfortable, didn't feel the cold ground at all. Wearing my wool clothes was very nice and comfortable. They say you're supposed to just sleep in like your underwear or maybe your long underwear or something only. But it makes getting out of bed that much harder. It makes unzipping up halfway and sticking my arms out and throwing logs on the fire and using a big stick to rearrange them. It would have made that a lot tougher. So wearing those extra clothes enabled me to be able to get up. I didn't have to get up and pee at all, but I usually do. I didn't drink last night at all. I had 1 beer. I usually drink more than that.